In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 8 niches that are going to be super profitable and very popular in 2026. Now, this is one of my favorite videos to make every single year. It gives me a push to go ahead and start working on a lot of these niches for things that are going to really explode in sales. And it helps you guys kind of get an idea of things that are going to be really big coming up all throughout the next year. So we have some really good ones, some that you already should be working on if you're not already, but let's not waste any more time and just jump right into this list. Now, the first one that is going to be huge because this event really only comes every 250 years, and that is, it's going to be the 250th anniversary of the United States. So on 4th of July, the United States Independence Day, pardon me if I get this wrong, the semi-quincentennial of the starting of the country. So there's going to be all sorts of different huge programs and celebrations, and 4th of July, it's always a really good niche. I make tons of sales in that holiday every single year, but this year, even more than others, I think a lot more people are going to be buying apparel that's celebrating the birthday of the United States, that is very patriotic. So you could take this a couple ways, either just kind of making a lot more items around 4th of July that are in kind of that red, white, and blue style, but you could also take it and do the actual niche of the 250th birthday. So I could see things like birthday cakes with 250 on it, or like Happy Birthday America. There's tons of different ideas, but this is really something you could start working on now because people are going to be buying this probably all throughout this year, because this is technically the 250th anniversary year, but you're really going to see a spike in sales around the summertime. Now, the next niche is also coming up this summer, and I promise not every single niche is going to be just the summer. There's just several huge events coming up, and that is going to be the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, every time when a big sporting event like this happens, especially one that is worldwide like the World Cup is, there are so many sales in that particular sports niche, as well as items that kind of represent different countries and different teams. Now, one thing you need to be careful of if you are going to sell items kind of targeting the niche of the World Cup is definitely do not use anything that has like the words FIFA on it or World Cup. They kind of own all the rights to that. So they're going to flag you. They're going to take down your account if you do stuff like that. But you can do like really cool apparel for representing your country. So North America is hosting the World Cup this year. So a lot of things that have to do with like Canada or Mexico or the United States and soccer are going to be huge. Just general soccer items are going to be huge. Things about watching soccer, watching the World Cup is going to be really big sellers. But like staying away from FIFA, you also want to stay away from any kind of specific names or references or copying exact versions of jerseys people are going to wear. Come at this summer-long event that is going to be a huge moneymaker this year. Now, another niche that is going to be huge in 2026 and probably into 2027 is all things kind of space, moon missions, and Mars particularly. There are a couple different moon missions coming up. So the Artemis 2 and the Artemis 3 have to do with getting astronauts back on Mars in the years 2026 and 2027. So there's going to be tons of things about moon landings, about going to space that are going to do very well. So anything in that kind of space niche, if you can take that around that event coming up, that's going to be a huge moneymaker. But kind of a side niche to this that is more of like a bonus one for you guys also has to do with space, and that is things to do with like life on Mars, living on Mars, going to Mars. There has been some new research that came out that it's even more likely that maybe there was at one time life on Mars. So it's excited a lot of different people, and so people are buying things that have to do with all things Mars. So jump on that one because it's already popular right now, but I can see it continuing on into 2026 as well. Now, the next one is one that I typically mention every single time I do a big niche video at the end of the year, but it's really a solid one because every single year these items are going to sell, and if you're not adding them to your shop, you're missing out on a lot of income potential, and that is 2026 milestone year shirts. So things I mean by that are like if there are graduates who are graduating in 2026, you can make shirts for them. So you don't necessarily just want to do a generic graduation shirt with 2026 on it, but if you can think about like nursing grad 2026 or veterinary grad 2026, getting really specific with the type of graduates is a great way to take this. Now, there's also things like milestone birthdays. So anyone who was born in a year that is ending in 6, they are having huge birthdays this year. So we have like a 10th birthday, things like 30th birthday, 40th birthday, 50th birthday. So shirts that say stuff like born in 1976, born in 1986, 96, all of those are having huge birthdays. So they're going to want to buy items to celebrate that and to wear on their big day. Now, other milestones you can think of is even things like if you sell any kind of travel or family vacation shirts, you're going to want to update that with the new year. So if you have like family vacation Maui 2026 or family cruise 2026, those are great ones to every year kind of get ahead of, updating those years, because people are starting to buy those now for trips that they are planning in the winter and the spring. Now, another niche that I wanted to mention that is going to be a huge seller this year, and it really does sell very well every single year, is thinking about different awareness days that are coming up throughout 2026, specifically cancer awareness days and cancer awareness months. Now, this one is particularly close to my heart this year. By now, you guys have probably seen my video talking about how I was actually recently diagnosed with cancer, and I am currently pre-recording a few videos before I actually start treatment, so that's what this is right now. But there are so many different cancers that are really underrepresented in things that you can buy. So I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I'm just going to tell you right now, if any of you want to jump on it, there are not very many items on Amazon or Etsy for Hodgkin's lymphoma survivors, people supporting it, people fighting that disease. So if you look up something like breast cancer awareness shirt, you're going to get thousands and thousands of results for that. But there are lots of other diseases that so many people are affected by that there really isn't a huge amount of stuff to purchase if you want to give a gift or support someone. So I know that these are the kind of shirts that I want to wear, that I want to buy for my family, that they want to wear to support me. So I know people have different ideas about maybe like profiting off of people's illnesses, but the way I see it is you are providing something that someone might not be able to do. So a lot of people who have cancer, they want to show that they are fighting the fight. They want to give things to their family and friends to show they're supporting them, but they might not be a graphic designer. They might not be able to make their own t-shirt. So by you uploading those kinds of designs, you're giving them an opportunity to buy something that they're really looking for. So particularly this year, think about the awareness days and the awareness months that are maybe a little bit smaller, maybe those cancers that aren't diagnosed as frequently. But like if you look up something like Hodgkin's awareness t-shirt on Amazon, you'll see that even though there's only a few of them listed, tons and tons of them have sales and reviews. So that means it's a really, really good niche to be in. And if you guys are confused about my cancer diagnosis, if you hadn't heard about it, I will link that video here where I talk a little bit more detail about it. I won't go into the whole thing here, but currently I am doing very well and about to start treatment, but you can hear a little bit more details if you watch that full video. So let's just keep going with this list because there's some other really good niches. Now, the next thing we have coming up in 2026 that always I see a lot of sales being made around is in the fall, at least in the United States, we are having our midterm elections. Now, the presidential election year, those are always very, very profitable for anything in the political niche. But every couple of years after that, when we have midterms, there also is a big surge in political niche sales around the fall time. So definitely want to think about for political niches. I do sell some of this type of item in my shops, but I always stay away from things that specifically reference like direct candidates or people specifically, and definitely don't do anything that disparages people either side because that can get your account flagged. But I just make more like general political affiliation type items. So that is a way you could take it, and definitely look into your own local or state elections, see what things are happening, and those can all be really good ideas for niches in this year. Now, before I go on with the rest of the list, the last four niches that are really big, I did want to talk about one thing, and that is picking really good products to actually put your designs for these niches on. So There are all sorts of different print-on-demand items you can sell. A lot of times people just go for t-shirts, but there's a lot of other ways you can also make sales in print-on-demand doing more unique items. So I personally use Printify as my manufacturing partner to make all of the print-on-demand items and ship them to customers who buy from me on my Etsy store. And I like that they have over 800 different product types. So they do have things like t-shirts, and I sell those all the time, but they have all sorts of other items. So sweatshirts, mugs, tumblers, glass cups, they have tote bags, they have throw pillows, they have pajamas, really anything that you can print on that you can think of, Printify probably has one that you can sell. So a lot of times with these niches, even if you feel like you're kind of late to the game getting to it, if you can sometimes take a more unique angle or a more unique product type, you still have a really good chance of standing out and making sales. So I'll have all their information linked down below. Highly recommend making an account with them. It's totally free and it seamlessly integrates with your Etsy shop. If you don't know how to do that, I will link a video here that just walks you through the process of both creating an account on Printify and then linking it with your Etsy. So you can do that right after this video, but let's just jump right back into the list of niches. Now, another thing that is a huge niche, and this kind of is funny to me because it's also something I relate to, but the niche of 90s kids or people born in the 90s has been huge lately, and I can see it just continuing. The younger generations, they are loving all things kind of nostalgic, and then people born in the 90s like myself a lot of times are wanting to buy things to kind of show off that we were born before the 2000s. So I've seen all sorts of different 90s inspired niches really taking off, either like a 90s aesthetic or something directly referencing the 90s. So like child of the 90s, like be patient with me, I was born in the 1900s. So you can take it like funny, cute, all sorts of different ways. ChatGPT is a great one to kind of ask for 90s kids inspired t-shirt ideas, but the niche of the 90s is really huge right now, and it's just going to continue into next year. Now, the next niche is one that you really should probably get onto now because it happens very early in 2026, and that is the Super Bowl and the halftime show specifically. So again, kind of like what I talked about with the World Cup, you don't want to try and sell anything that is directly referencing any team or any properties, but things about football, about watching the Super Bowl halftime show, about all the snacks that have to do with the Super Bowl, about playing the sport, loving the sport, all those kind of things really pick up in sales around when the Super Bowl is happening. People want to wear really fun t-shirts to Super Bowl parties, especially if they're like on the funny side. Those are the ones that sell really well. And a bonus niche off of this one that does so well, and I know there is going to be a ton of these selling this year, so get on it, is Super Bowl and football themed baby announcements. I know it sounds really funny, but the niche of baby announcements is always popular every single year. I think I shared it either last year or the year before in a niche video, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And if you can kind of combine it with the niche of football, like little quarterback coming 2026, or like a little football on the belly of the shirt, there's all sorts of different ideas you could do for something like this, but crossing the niche of Super Bowl with baby announcement, just kind of an extra bonus one for you guys. Now, if you want even more ideas of some really great products to put your designs for these niches on, I highly recommend watching this video next, where I'll take you through designing a product to actually put on Etsy. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.